feel the deep pain you hold in your heart at this very moment. I know the weariness that crushes your hope and the emptiness that takes over your being when the cold dawn arrives and the tears insist on falling, hidden from everyone, but never hidden from me. You were guided here seeking a message from me with a thirsty soul, asking yourself why your most desperate prayer seems to have plunged into an ocean of profound silence. But what if I told you that, in the immensity of this silence that afflicts you so much, the most powerful answer from heaven has already begun to be woven for your life? Since ancient times, I have acted behind the scenes of history. Just as I parted the waters of the sea in the darkness of night to save my children when all seemed lost, I work on what human eyes cannot yet see. My silence is never absence, my beloved daughter. It is the secret workshop where I prepare your greatest victory. On this journey of ours today, I will guide you through the calm waters of revelation. I will show you, through my grace, what I was building while you thought I had forgotten your name. I will reveal to you how this silent waiting is about to transform into the most beautiful and tangible miracle your heart has ever experienced, restoring your true identity and peace. If this word of God is already touching your heart and bringing a breath of life to your soul, comment below with your name, the country, state, and city you are watching from, and the time where you are. And, like a true cry that springs from within you, write in the comments with all your strength, Lord my God, I am here. I subscribed because I love you and want to hear you. Leave a like as a sign of your surrender. Subscribe and activate the notification bell so that my company may be your constant refuge. Stay with me, listen to my voice until the very last moment. I will give you a crystal clear answer at the end. A very powerful phrase will be whispered to your heart, and whoever writes it in the comments will receive prophetic blessings released in absolute faith. However, for you to understand the magnitude of the work I have already begun, we first need to walk through the dry sands of your recent history. What was the bitter desert preparing within you without you realizing it? I know there were recent moments when you felt like you were walking alone through an immense expanse of sand and dryness. I know the feeling of tightness when, even surrounded by so many voices and daily demands, your spirit cried out for help, and all you heard was the echo of your own weariness. The desert you have been through is not an oversight on my part, nor a punishment for your afflicted soul. It was the place I needed to take you to cleanse your heart of illusions and prepare the hard ground of your being. In the sacred scriptures, in the book of the prophet Hosea, chapter 2, verse 14, I declare, "Therefore, behold, I will allure her and bring her into the wilderness and speak tenderly to her." This is the living truth that surrounds your life now. The prolonged waiting, the days you sought answers on the ceiling of your room without understanding the reason for so much trial, sharpened your faith in a way that ease never could. The desert molded your character, healed your wounds through sincere tears, and prepared the ground for the incorruptible seed that I have already planted within you. Every drop of sorrow you shed in solitude watered that seed. You thought you were only losing your strength, but you were gaining spiritual structure to endure the glory that I will pour out upon your days. If this truth calms your troubled spirit, leave your like as an embrace of acceptance. Allow your heart to dwell here, gently inscribing itself, and share this message with that life, which is also traversing the desert without understanding God's actions. Tell me, in the depths of your silence, what you have discovered about your own strength while you await my response. Write here in the comments our word of faith for this moment, preparation. But quiet your soul now, for after the earth is prepared in the dryness, something invisible begins to happen in the depths, a mystery of calm that precedes what the world calls impossible. I feel the storm still raging within your mind. Doubts rise like violent waves, trying to convince you that waiting will be your final destiny, and that anguish will be your permanent dwelling. But I call you now to the center of my love, where there is a refuge that the afflictions of the world cannot destroy. Before the answer you so desperately seek materializes, I need to flood your inner being with my absolute serenity. In the book of the letter to the Philippians, chapter 4, verse 7, my word promises that the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. Bring this eternal truth into your reality this instant, when the fear of tomorrow tries to steal your breath in the middle of the night, and the feeling of powerlessness tries to crush your spirit. Remember that I have already raised my hand over your troubled waters. The answer to the cry you made in deep weeping has already been released from my throne. She is on her way, breaking through barriers invisible to earthly eyes, walking towards you to reach you at the exact time of your healing. Feel the tension leaving your being now. Breathe in the atmosphere of liberation that fills the void that once dwelt within you. The miracle makes no noise as it takes shape in the darkness. It grows in silence, supported by my sovereign right hand. If you can feel this gentle breeze calming your affliction, let your like serve as a seal of your trust in my providence. Subscribe so that our intimacy may be constant, and share this message with that person who also desperately needs to anchor their soul in a safe harbor. Tell me, with all your sincerity, what burden is your heart willing to release now to truly rest in my arms? Write here in the comments our new word of trust, calm. But don't turn away yet, for profound silence also hides mysteries of provision. You need to discover how the seed of your victory is being nurtured far from the surface, where the invisible sustenance is already shaping your great triumph. My beloved daughter, if it is possible for you, and only if peace overflows within you, transform your gratitude into a living seed of love through this channel. Consider my immense love and the sacrifice of my beloved Son Jesus, and support this work using the link found in the description of this video and also in the pinned comment. There you will find the sacred place where your contribution of love can be deposited and consecrated before me, the Creator of all things. You can support with any amount. Do not be afraid. And always remember this truth: give only what fits in your heart with joy. I receive each gesture with infinite love. The material value does not matter. What truly matters to me is the purity of the heart of the giver. For what may seem little to your eyes is a true immensity for the receiver and for the expansion of this spiritual purpose. And know that whoever contributes any amount with a sincere heart should not forget to include their name and city with their offering. For on the first day of the coming month, in a unique and very special video on our page, Divine Love, the Voice of God, your name will be remembered and mentioned with affection in gratitude through a powerful prayer. For it is written in the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verses 9 and 10, "Honor the Lord with your wealth and with the first fruits of all your produce. Then your barns will be filled to overflowing. Every offering made in faith and truth is a seed planted before me, your Lord. And I will not fail to make any of them fruitful and multiply in your life. I see your cry in the secret of your room, and I reward you in the sight of all at the exact moment." Stay with me until the end of this message, because I still want to touch the depths of your heart with my voice, revealing what is sprouting from the ground of your life. Often at dawn, when you contemplate your life, weariness invades your soul, and the painful sensation arises that absolutely nothing has changed. The tightness in your chest awakens with you. The rooms of your house hold a silence that seems to swallow you whole, and the promises I made to you seem buried beneath the cold earth of oblivion. But today I invite you to look with the eyes of the Spirit at the seed that rests in the darkness of the soil. It makes no noise. It emits no sound when its hard shell finally breaks in the darkness. And yet, it is precisely in the deepest darkness of the earth that life begins to pulsate with an uncontrollable force. In the Gospel of Mark, chapter 4, verse 27, my word reveals that the seed germinates and grows without the farmer knowing how. It is in exactly this silent and powerful way that my invisible sustenance is operating within your story at this very moment. When you come to think that I am inert, distant from your pain, I am in fact nourishing your roots. I am strengthening your foundation so that you can bear the formidable weight of your great victory, without the strong winds of future adversities being able to knock you down. I know the fear you feel when you realize you don't control everything. I feel your constant worry about tomorrow and the restrained tears of those who sow while weeping. But I ask you, trust in my provision that never fails. The stage for your transformation is being set up in minute detail, exactly where your human eyes cannot yet reach. If this divine truth rekindles the flame of hope within you, like this post as an act of silent and courageous faith, allow yourself to embrace this refuge, subscribing so you don't miss the next steps we will take together. Share this prayer with that dear soul who also weeps for not yet seeing the fruits of the seeds they planted with so many tears. Before we move on to the comfort I have prepared for you, tell me something from the bottom of your soul. What does your heart most yearn to reap after so much sowing and weeping? Write here in the comments our word of strength to seal this moment. Growth. Take a deep breath and continue walking supported by me, for there is a balm prepared for your darkest nights, a living direction that will prevent your feet from faltering when night falls. I know your nights, my daughter. I know exactly what it's like when sleep abandons you, when the silence of the rooms in your house seems deafening, and the cold of uncertainty tries to freeze your faith. In those moments, when you shrink and feel the crushing weight of thinking there is no one to wipe away your tears, I am there, right beside you, collecting every drop of your pain. In the book of Psalms, chapter 42, verse 8, my living word assures you, yet the Lord will command his loving kindness in the daytime, and in the night his song shall be with me. And it is precisely this spiritual lullaby that I want to sing in your ear every night, to be the perfect and constant remedy for your wounded soul. If your heart desires to dive even deeper into my waters of comfort, I have left you a special gift, designed in the form of a beautiful journey. It is something I wrote with much love and infinite affection for all my beloved daughters and sons. The digital book called Divine Love Devotional, The Voice of God. It was prepared as a daily remedy, made to accompany you day after day, offering guidance, shelter, and calm in your silence and intimacy. The path to this continuous embrace is also in the link in the description of this video and in the pinned comment. But listen to my voice now sweetly. If today it is not possible for you to take this step, by no means condemn yourself. Just remain with me here, serene and at peace, because I will continue to strongly support you through this message, and so that your heart may find complete rest and no worry disturbs your peace. Immediately after you complete your registration, all access information will be securely sent to the email address you provided. There you will find all the correct instructions, guided step by step, to help you begin this new journey together. For it is written in the book of Lamentations, chapter 3, verses 22 and 23. The Lord's mercies are the reason we are not consumed, for his mercies never end, they are new every morning. I will renew your strength every morning, dispelling all the anguish of the dawn. But do not let go of my hand now, for I am about to tear the veil of that which has remained hidden for so long. There is an answer that has already taken shape in the spiritual realm, and that will definitively change the course of your life. If you feel that my care relieves the weight on your shoulders, let your enjoyment be like a sigh of relief in my arms. Allow our communion to strengthen by subscribing to this refuge and activating the signal of our meeting, so that you do not lose me. Share this love with that person who also cries in the cold dawns and desperately needs my song. Now open your heart and confide in me. What is the most painful wound that throbs in your chest when night falls and the whole world seems to sleep? Write here in the comments our healing word to seal this moment. Balm. Continue listening to my whisper, because what once seemed like an abyss of silence and abandonment now reveals itself as the cradle of your greatest miracle, an invisible work that has already been born and is about to invade your reality. I accompanied every silent tear that marked your face during all this time. When you looked at the pieces of your own heart, scattered across the ground of your history, believing that pain would be your only legacy, I was gathering each fragment with my own hands. The prolonged weeping that drained your strength was not the end of your essence, my beloved daughter. It was the bitter water necessary to soften the earth where your new, unwavering strength has already begun to sprout. In the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 19, I declare to your ears with power and grace, behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? Behold, I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert, and that is exactly what has already happened in the depths of your spirit. The answer you so desperately sought in your distressed nights has already been born in the invisible realm. It has already been forged in the heat of your trial. What you call extreme weakness today, I call the strongest foundation I have ever built within you. Your tears were not in vain. They emptied you of the illusions of the world so that I could fill you with my truth, and with a courage you never imagined you possessed. Now feel this new structure rising within your soul. Fragility has given way to sacred resilience. You are no longer the one who crumbles before the first contrary wind, for my sovereign hand is now your true pillar of support. The miracle is not only what will reach your hands. The primary miracle is the strong woman I have transformed you into. If this revelation calms your fears and makes your soul breathe deeply relieved, leave your like as a seal of gratitude for the work I have done in secret. Subscribe to this shelter so as not to lose the rhythm of my voice, and share this breath of life with that person who also cries thinking their end has come. Now, in the depths of your being, in our place of silence, answer me sincerely. Looking at the woman you have become after so many internal battles, what virtue do you perceive was born amidst your greatest pain? Write here in the comments our word of victory for this moment: fortitude. But do not completely quiet your spirit yet, for what I have built within you is immense, but you urgently need to know what I have freed you from. There is a disguised evil that crossed your path, and you need to understand the invisible protection that acted while you thought you were helpless. I know the times your heart bled when you saw a door slam shut before you. I heard your muffled sobs when something you desperately wanted to hold slipped through your fingers like fine sand. In those moments of extreme anguish, you questioned my kindness. You asked in the secret of your mind why I wasn't answering your fervent prayer, why I allowed your soul to suffer such a shattered expectation. But today, I come to whisper the absolute truth about that silence that hurt you so much. My silence was not omission, my beloved daughter. My silence was my own outstretched hand, blocking your access to a path that would lead you to profound and irreparable destruction. In the book of Psalms, chapter 121, verse 7, I affirm with power, the Lord will keep you from all evil. He will keep your soul. And that is exactly what I did. What you called rejection or delay, I called absolute rescue. What you called a great loss, I called a sacred deliverance. If I had said yes to your desperate cry, you would be walking towards an abyss lined with bitterness today. I preferred to endure your momentary incomprehension rather than see your soul shattered by incurable pain. Feel now the burden of guilt and the feeling of failure falling to the ground. Breathe in the immense freedom of one who discovers they have been saved from a shipwreck invisible to human eyes. I was protecting you all along, hiding your life under my wings, at the very moment when traps were being set against your peace. If this extraordinary revelation removes a crushing weight from your chest, let your enjoyment be a sign that you embrace my protective care. Enroll in this space of communion, to remain always under my shadow, and share this truth with that person who today sheds bitter tears for a door that I myself closed out of love. Now, search your emotional memory and confide in me. What was that desire you cried so much for not achieving, but which, deep down in your spirit, you already know was my right hand keeping you from danger? Write here in the comments our word of liberation to seal this moment. Shield. But keep your heart fully awake and attentive, because after the ground is protected and the storm is averted, the supreme moment dawns on the horizon when the seed finds the sunlight. The time when your true smile breaks through the dark clouds is only a step away from being revealed. I witnessed your steadfastness, even when your heart was in pieces. You continued to walk and pray in silence, even when the sky seemed like bronze, and no answer descended upon your anguish. Your exhausted spirit did not cease to call upon my name in the darkest nights, and it is precisely because of this loyalty of yours, proven in the fire, that your story of pain begins to be rewritten from this very moment. In the book of Psalms, chapter 126, verse 5, my promise is eternal and unbreakable. Those who sow in tears will reap with joy. Those thick, bitter tears that rolled down your face in lonely dawns were not in vain. They were the living water that watered the seed of your promise. The dry land of your life, prepared in the desert and protected from plagues by my silent deliverance, is finally ready to yield its harvest. The time of sowing only in tears is over. The cycle of emotional and spiritual scarcity has been broken forever. Your true smile, the one that is born from the depths of your soul and illuminates your whole being, is dawning brightly on the horizon of your story. Feel the warmth of this new morning warming your weary spirit. Breathe in the gentle joy that is beginning to replace the weight of sadness. Your loyalty sustained your purpose, and my right hand now crowns you with the victory you have so long awaited. If you feel that the time of your divine joy has arrived, let your enjoyment be like a tight embrace of my promise. Sign up for this place of love so we can experience the time of your harvest together, and share this light with that loved one who also needs to know that their tears will end. Speak to me, in the intimacy of our silence. What is the first smile of gratitude you want to give the world when your victory fully materializes? Write our promise word here in the comments, harvest. But remain with me now, in this deep and unbreakable embrace. There is a final word, a spiritual key that I have prepared from the beginning, ready to be unlocked within your heart. The journey we have taken today through the desert of your waiting has revealed the deepest truth about my love for you. The silence that once frightened you, you now know, was my perfect working environment to forge your strength, protect your steps, and germinate the seed of your absolute miracle. You arrived here with a heavy heart, desperately seeking an explanation for the delay, and now your soul understands that I was, at every moment, writing the most beautiful outlines of your redemption. Your inner pain has been validated, your silent weariness has been embraced in my arms, and your unwavering faith has been justified before the heavens. Always remember that, even when the night tries to whisper to you that you are alone, my presence is the invisible anchor that prevents your hope from sinking. The time to smile has arrived, but our journey together does not end here. There are even deeper mysteries about your future, and grand promises that I still want to unveil for your spirit. Therefore, continue seeking my voice in our collection of messages on this channel, for I have much more to reveal about the prosperous and serene paths I have prepared exclusively for your feet. Remember the promise I made to you the moment your heart cried out for help. I said that a powerful phrase would be whispered to your being, an immeasurable key capable of opening all the doors of your courage. This is the sacred moment, the crystal-clear answer to your moment of weakness. The strength to face all the days to come is contained in this eternal truth. As an act of unwavering faith, surrender and covenant with heaven, write this phrase in the comments now. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. Declare it with all the strength of your soul, so that the spiritual realm knows that your identity has been completely restored and healed by my love. And now quiet your thoughts, close the eyes of your heart, and receive my final whisper. I know your true strength, my daughter. No storm will be able to extinguish the light I have kindled in your heart. Go in peace and rest, for your victory has already been sealed by my own hands.